more on his legacy, both for the sport of basketball and in China, I spoke to Mark Ray. He's a sports broadcaster with the Heritage Sports Radio Network and the ShadowLeague.com. Take a listen.
Well, it was a great way to end his final game. I'm sure if Kobe had it his way, he'd have much rather had that type of performance in a meaningful playoff game. It was a glorified exhibition, but as he said, he wanted to make sure that the crowd got their money's worth. If you're going to score 60 points and you shoot 50 shots, is that really efficient? I mean, you keep jacking and you're a great player that, like he is, sooner or later, the shots are going to fall. But to your point, I think this was one of those moments where great athletes can summon up the will for one last time and know full well they don't have it anymore. We saw that with pro football in the United States with a quarterback named Peyton Manning, whose body was breaking down, but he was able to do enough to lead his team to a Super Bowl victory. And in many respects, what Kobe did in his final game was just will himself for one last time to play a great game.
So he played in the NBA 20 seasons, all with the same team. That's a first in NBA history, Mark. So what is his legacy?
Well, a five-time NBA world champion. He was the face of the Los Angeles Lakers. You can make an argument for 15 or 20 years. He was a global basketball icon whose presence in Europe and in China and Asia, all over the country, all over the world, if you will, is so important to the exporting of the NBA throughout the world. When Kobe came along 20 years ago, the NBA was known as the best basketball league in the world, but they really hadn't expanded globally. Kobe, along with the Michael Jordans of the world in the era before him, helped to take what the 1992 U.S. Olympic basketball team did to the next level. Kobe is a great player. He's a great pitch man. He's been a great ambassador on the floor for the game. You can talk about the indiscretions away from the floor and some of his relationships that went awry with his teammates. But the bottom line is when you look not only at the overall picture of Kobe, the basketball player, with Kobe, the marketer and the ambassador, his impact can't be underscored enough on things both on and off the floor.
And let's talk about China. He's an absolute superstar in China. What is his impact on just the sport, but the sport's impact on China?
Well, first off, the sport's impact on China can't be underscored. Kobe may have something to do with it, but I really think the big impact was Yao Ming, proving that a Chinese athlete could play at a high level in the NBA. Kobe represents the West's marketing of the game, opening up doors for shoe franchises like Nike to take advantage of a flourishing market. It allowed the NBA to sell their products in China. There were as many Kobe basketball jerseys being sold as they were when Yao was playing at that time. So those are the kind of things away from the floor.
Mark, and finally, I gotta ask you about the fan base and reaction we've seen on the internet, on social media. I'm just gonna read you a couple of quotes. Heroes come and go, legends are forever, talking about Kobe Bryant. Thank you, Kobe, for pushing through when your body said no, but your heart said yes. And finally, 20 years of greatness, hashtag thank you, Kobe.
Well, it just speaks to the impact that he had inside the passion of basketball people. Laker Nation spans all across the United States. You've got Laker fans in New York. You've got Laker fans in Northern California. You've got Laker fans all over the place in China. Kobe was one of those rare players who, by you watching him and him giving you everything that he had to give every single night, made you connect with him as a fan and as a person who respected the game.
We will leave it at that. Mark Ray, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.